close your eyes, can you hear it? The faint whisper carried on a wind that tastes of rust, a sigh from forgotten graves. New Zealand, a land celebrated for its breathtaking landscapes, harbors a darkness beneath its serene surface. Tonight, we journey into the chilling heart of its most haunted place, where shadows cling like damp cloth and a silence so profound it screams. Are you brave enough to uncover the tales these restless spirits tell? Unit 15, Pukekura Park. New Plymouth. As twilight drapes its shroud over New Plymouth, Pukekura Park, a verdant jewel by day, transforms. Ancient trees, their skeletal branches twisting against a bruised sky, seem to writhe in a silent agony, the wind whistling through their leaves not just air, but a mournful chorus of forgotten voices. It is here, by the moon-dappled waters of the main lake, that a chilling legend takes root. Whispers tell of a woman, eternally clad in white, her form a shimmering specter gliding across the surface or vanishing amongst the weeping willows. Visitors and park staff alike have reported encounters that defy logic, pockets of unnatural cold that claw at the skin even on a warm night. The faint crunch of footsteps on gravel where no one stands, or the brush of an unseen hand, light as a cobweb against the nape of a neck. The air itself feels heavy, thick with an unseen presence, a profound sorrow that permeates the very earth. Is she a heartbroken lover, forever seeking a lost embrace by the water's edge, or a victim of a tragedy long buried beneath the park's serene beauty? Her silent vigil casts an enduring pall, a question that lingers long after the last rays of sun have fled. And what secrets might she share, if only the night would lend her a voice? 14. Waikumete Cemetery, Auckland. The air at Waikumete Cemetery, in Auckland's largest and oldest necropolis, then carries a peculiar weight, a silence so profound it screams of forgotten lives and untold tragedies. Here, amidst thousands of weathered headstones and moss-laden monuments that lean like weary sentinels, the veil between worlds thins to an almost imperceptible gauze. It's a place where rest seems a fleeting concept, and the dead perhaps still walk among the living. As twilight bleeds across the vast expanse, transforming granite into shadowy silhouettes, visitors often speak of an unsettling chill that claws at the skin, a cold that doesn't belong to the mild Auckland night. Beyond the visible, the cemetery throbs with an unseen pulse, ethereal. Phantom lights have been glimpsed dancing erratically among the older sections, sometimes coalescing into vague human shapes before dissolving into the deepening gloom. Disembodied whispers, too faint to grasp their meaning yet distinct enough to prickle the scalp, drift on the wind that tastes of damp earth and decay, mingling with what some swear are anguished sighs or faint, melancholic strains of music from an age long past. Tales abound of phantom footsteps crunching on gravel paths where no living soul stands, or the gentle, insistent tug of an unseen hand on clothing, a silent plea from beyond the grave. The feeling of being watched, a persistent prickle at the back of the neck, is a common refrain among those who linger too long near its most ancient plots. Is it the lingering sorrow of a love lost, the restless spirit of a victim seeking justice, or merely the echo of countless stories buried beneath the manicured lawns? Waikumete is a sprawling archive of sorrow, and each gust of wind through its ancient cypress trees seems to carry a fragment of history, a half-whispered secret. As the final vestiges of daylight surrender to night, one might catch a fleeting glimpse of a shadowy figure, indistinguishable from the swirling mist, gliding silently between the rows of eternal sleepers. How many untold secrets, how many unfinished goodbyes truly lie buried within its hallowed, yet profoundly haunted grounds, destined to forever whisper their truths to the unsuspecting night. 13. Bush Inn Tavern, Christchurch. The weathered facade of the Bush Inn Tavern in Christchurch, one of New Zealand's oldest pubs, still emits a welcoming glow, promising warmth and good cheer. Yet, step across its threshold, and a peculiar chill can often seep into the bones, a cold that has nothing to do with the Canterbury Plains outside. Here, the convivial clinking of glasses and the murmur of living patrons are frequently punctuated by phantom whispers and inexplicable shivers, hinting that some of its most loyal regulars may have never truly departed. For generations, the Bush Inn has been home to several spectral residents. Most famously, the Bushman, a shadowy figure said to materialize and fade within the bar's rustic confines, often preferring the quieter corners. But he is not alone. Stories abound of other ethereal patrons, their presence announced by the sudden, unnerving crash of a glass from a seemingly empty shelf, or the distinct, heavy thud of footsteps pacing across the silent floorboards of the upstairs function room, even when no one is there. Guests and staff have reported inexplicable fluctuations in temperature, the sensation of being lightly touched by an unseen hand, or the eerie sight of objects subtly shifting their positions as if nudged by an invisible elbow. The air often carries a faint, musty scent of stale ale and pipe tobacco, a ghostly residue from convivial evenings long past. Do these unseen patrons simply cling to the familiarity of their old haunt, perhaps raising a final and spectral toast to forgotten memories? Or are they restless spirits, forever seeking the camaraderie they once found within these storied walls, condemned to haunt the space between last orders and the closing bell as you sip your drink? A prickle on the back of your neck might just be a spectral eye observing you, wondering if you, too, might one day choose to stay. 12. Riccarton House, Christchurch. Beyond the boisterous echoes of Christchurch's Bush Inn, where spectral laughter may mingle with the living, lies Riccarton House, a grand Victorian edifice that, despite its stately beauty, seems perpetually draped in a veil of profound sadness. Its ornate rooms and polished hallways once brimmed with the vibrant life of the pioneering Dean's family. But now, whispers suggest some of them have never truly left, forever entwined with the history held within its very bones. Visitors often speak of a distinct, inexplicable scent of lavender that drifts through the air, particularly near the former bedrooms, a fragrant, ghostly signature of a long-departed matriarch, perhaps Emily Deans herself. Then there are the phantom melodies. Staff and guests have reported the soft, melancholic strains of a piano playing from an empty drawing room, the notes hanging heavy in the air before fading into an unnerving silence. More unsettling still are the fleeting glimpses, a shadow detaching itself from the wall and gliding across a sunlit room, or the faint, almost imperceptible figure of a woman peering from an upstairs window, her gaze fixed on something unseen in the sprawling grounds below. Could these be the lingering impressions of the Dean's family, their sorrows and joys imprinted upon the very fabric of their beloved home? These are the silent, sorrowful guardians of Riccarton House, bound not by brick and mortar, but by the indelible tapestry of love, loss, and lingering memory. Do they seek solace within these familiar walls, forever tied to the tragedies that once unfolded here? Or are they simply unable to abandon the grandeur and the ghosts of their past, forever trapped in a beautiful, bittersweet purgatory, watching the world pass by through leaded glass? 11. Grand Windsor Hotel, Auckland. Step into the Grand Windsor Hotel, and you are immediately enveloped in the opulent embrace of a bygone era. Gilded frames reflect velvet shadows, and chandeliers glimmer with a history of distinguished guests. Yet, beneath the polished facade of this luxurious Auckland landmark, a deeper and more chilling reality resides. For some of its residents, checking out has never been an option. The air, despite its grandeur, often carries a cold breath, a stark contrast to the warmth of its decor, hinting at unseen presences lingering just beyond the veil. Staff and visitors alike have countless tales of the inexplicable. Lights, they say au montu de, will flicker and die in otherwise perfectly maintained rooms, only to blaze back to life with a defiant spark. Whispers, thin as a spider's silk, drift through deserted corridors, too faint to form words, yet too distinct to be dismissed as mere echoes. And then there are the phantom touches, a brush against the arm, a gentle tug on clothing, when no living soul is near, leaving behind a profound sense of unease. Guests report specific rooms where the unseen activity is most pronounced, where a bed might feel as though someone has just risen from it, or where the scent of an unfamiliar perfume fills the air, only to vanish moments later. Who are these ethereal inhabitants? Bound to the hotel's luxurious confines, perhaps they are eternally searching for a forgotten lover, or simply unwilling to surrender the comfort of their lavish, spectral abode in the Grand Windsor. The line between guest and ghost blurs, leaving us to wonder if, among the living, we are merely sharing a magnificent prison with eternal guests who can never truly find their way out. 10. St. James Theatre, Wellington. The velvet curtains of the St. James Theatre in Wellington may be drawn, and the house lights dimmed, but the performance within these hallowed halls is far from over. When the last living patron departs, a chilling silence descends, not of emptiness, but of anticipation. For this grand dame of performance still echoes with the spectral applause and forgotten melodies of those who refuse to leave the stage. The air backstage sometimes hums with an electric energy, a phantom anticipation that whispers of an encore yet to be played, a cold breath that tastes of dust and forgotten dreams. Legends abound within the St. James, and each more unsettling than the last. There's the spectral Wurlitzer man, a former projectionist whose presence is often felt near the organ, his ghostly touch sometimes flickering the lights. Others speak of a young ballet dancer, a victim of a tragic fall, whose ethereal pirouettes can be glimpsed in the upper circles, a fleeting shadow against the velvet. Most famously, there is the chairman or Pearl, a plumber who met his untimely end during renovations. His mischievous spirit is blamed for slamming doors, manipulating stage lights, and turning taps on and off. Patrons and staff have reported hearing disembodied laughter ripple through empty dressing rooms, or the faint, melancholic strains of an opera sung from a vacant stage. Sometimes, a chilling breath caresses the neck of an unsuspecting audience member, or the distinct impression of someone settling into the seat beside them. Even when it's undeniably empty, this theater, steeped in over a century of artistic passion and tragic ends, feels less like a building and more like a living, breathing entity, one that remembers every triumph and every sorrow. Do these spectral players still yearn for the spotlight, their ethereal performances a haunting encore for an unseen audience? Or are they simply tethered to the intoxicating allure of the stage, forever seeking that one last standing ovation in the St. James, every creak of the floorboards, every whisper in the dark? Begs the question, how many curtain calls must a ghost take before their final bow? The chilling sense of an unyielding presence here clings like damp cloth, a preview of the cold, metallic dread that awaits further down our journey. 9. Otira Tunnel, Arthur's Pass. The Otira Tunnel, a monstrous vein of darkness carved through the unforgiving southern Alps, whispers of forgotten toil and chilling sacrifice, its cold, damp air, thick with the scent of rock and damp earth, feels less like a passage and more like a tomb, a testament to the lives consumed by its relentless construction. Each echoing drone of a passing vehicle only amplifies the profound silence that otherwise screams from its stone-lined depths, a silence broken only by the whispers of those who never truly left. For over a decade, men toiled in brutal conditions to pierce the mountainside. Facing rockfalls, explosions, and the crushing weight of their immense task, many lost their lives, their spirits now reportedly tethered to the very rock they helped forge. Tales abound of shadowy figures glimpsed at the tunnel's edge, of phantom lights appearing and vanishing in the rearview mirror. Drivers report inexplicable sensations of freezing cold, even in sealed cars, or the distinct disembodied cries and moans that seem to cling to the walls. Some speak of the tunnel girl, a spectral presence said to flit between the narrow confines, her form indistinct, her intentions unknown, a fleeting glimpse in the dark that vanishes as quickly as it appears. The sheer length and suffocating darkness of the tunnel, combined with its grim history, creates an oppressive atmosphere where the line between the living and the dead feels impossibly thin. Every tremor, every unexplained sound becomes a direct message from the countless souls entombed within its cold embrace. Are these the restless echoes of men who died far from home, forever chained to their unfinished work, their sacrifices demanding an eternal remembrance? Or is it the mountain itself, resentful of being breached, holding on to the energies of those it claimed? Passing through the Otira Tunnel isn't merely a journey from one side of the past to the other. It's a chilling passage through a veil, where the spectral presence of the past is a constant, suffocating companion. The lingering dread of this subterranean realm is a mere precursor to the historical anxieties that await us in the next grand, haunted edifice. 8. Old Government House. Auckland nestled amidst Auckland's bustling cityscape. The Old Government House stands, a stately edifice whose Victorian grandeur is now steeped in a silence so profound it screams of forgotten echoes. Once the pulsing heart of colonial power, where decisions shaped a burgeoning nation and lavish balls lit up its windows, it now possesses a chilling stillness, an almost suffocating aura that suggests its former inhabitants never truly departed. The air within its hallowed halls feels thick, heavy with the phantom weight of unseen eyes and the lingering scent of long-lost perfumes. Whispers cling to its ornate cornices, tales of past governors and their families who still preside over their former domain. Most renowned is the ethereal presence of a woman, often glimpsed as a fleeting shadow or the soft rustle of silk as she glides through the upper floors. Her footsteps distinct yet utterly soundless. Is she a forgotten mistress, a heartbroken wife, or merely an eternal guest unwilling to relinquish her claim on such opulence? Staff and visitors alike report an undeniable sense of being watched, a cold breath on the nape of the neck in an otherwise warm room, or the eerie sensation of a hand brushing past their arm in an empty corridor. During quiet nights, or even bustling daytime events, spectral figures are occasionally reported to drift through rooms. Transient apparitions of bygone parties, their faces indistinct, their presence unmistakable. Each creak of the old timber, each shift in the shadows, seems to be a subtle gesture from these unseen hosts, a testament to their unwavering tether to the magnificent structure. The very stones of old Government House seem to absorb the power and pomp, the triumphs and tragedies of generations. Do these restless spirits cling to the echoes of their earthly authority, forever bound to the corridors of their former influence, unable to find peace in the quiet annals of history? We leave this stately but unsettling dominion, only to venture into another realm of past grandeur, now desolate and eerily silent, where warm waters once flowed but now only cold spirits linger. 7. Waiwera Thermal Resort Old Hotel Section. Waiwera once. The Waiwera Thermal Resort pulsed with the joyous laughter of families and the contented sighs of bathers soaking in its healing waters. Now, its old hotel section stands as a skeletal monument to forgotten revelry, a decaying shell where the wind whistles through broken windows, tasting of rust and a silence so profound it screams of untold sorrows. The air hangs heavy with a palpable sense of abandonment, each creaking floorboard a whisper from a bygone era, each darkened room a stage for unseen specters. Beneath the peeling paint and crumbling plaster, the spectral echoes of its past guests refuse to be silenced. Rumors swirl of child spirits, their unseen hands tugging at sleeves, their faint giggles echoing from empty corridors that once brimmed with life. A mysterious woman, often cloaked in shadows, is said to drift through the deserted lobby, her presence marked by an inexplicable drop in temperature that chills the very bone, far colder than the coastal breeze. Visitors brave enough to venture near the perimeter have reported fleeting glimpses of figures in windows, gone the instant they focus, and the unsettling sensation of being watched from behind dark, vacant panes, whispers, too faint to discern words but unmistakable in their mournful tone, seem to emanate from the depths of the abandoned rooms, clinging like damp cloth to anyone who dares to listen. What forgotten tragedies unfolded within these walls, trapping these forlorn souls in a purgatory of eternal unrest? Are they forever seeking the soothing warmth of the thermal waters that once promised solace, now only to find perpetual cold as we depart this ghostly resort, where joy turned to desolation? We prepare to navigate another path, where the open road itself becomes a canvas for the unseen, and every turn may hide a spectral encounter. 6. Puhinui Road, Auckland beyond the city's glow, where streetlights surrender to starlight and the asphalt stretches into a realm of encroaching shadow, lies Puhinui Road. It's a route less traveled by choice at night, for here, the wind that rustles through the roadside foliage often carries a whisper that isn't the wind, and headlights have a chilling habit of illuminating things not meant for the living eye. Locals speak in hushed tones of the Puhinui Ghost Lady, a spectral hitchhiker whose tragic tale is etched into the very fabric of this lonely stretch. She appears without warning, a shimmering pale figure often sighted on the roadside, her form indistinct yet undeniably female, beckoning drivers with a silent plea. Many a motorist has reported the unsettling experience, a sudden, inexplicable coldness seeping into the car's interior, the engine sputtering or dying without cause, and then the fleeting glimpse of a woman vanishing into the dense, dark thicket as swiftly as she appeared. The air becomes heavy, laden with an invisible grief that clings like damp cloth, and the rustling leaves seem to articulate her sorrow. Some claim to have felt a gentle, icy touch on their shoulder or heard a faint, mournful sigh just beyond the reach of their headlights. The very landscape seems to conspire with her presence, the ancient trees twisting like tortured souls, their shadows dancing with unseen companions. Who is this phantom of Puhinui? forever seeking a ride that never truly ends? Is she a lost soul, eternally replaying a final fateful journey, or merely a sentinel, a spectral warning to those who dare traverse her shadowed domain? As we leave the unsettling solitude of this haunted highway behind, we turn our gaze towards a more imposing structure, where luxury and desolation walk hand in hand, and the past is an ever-present guest. 5. Chateau Tongariro Hotel. Tongariro National Park. From the unsettling solitude of that haunted highway, our journey now ascends to the majestic yet isolated grandeur of the Chateau Tongariro Hotel, a stone castle standing sentinel amidst the wild, primeval landscapes of Tongariro National Park. Here, at the foot of ancient volcanoes, luxury once reigned, but beneath its elegant facade, a profound chill speaks of presences that have lingered far beyond their welcome. Within these grand halls, where echoes of lavish parties and whispered secrets might still drift, the most persistent guest is said to be Rosie, a former maid whose spectral form is a frequent, if unwelcome, sight. Her story is one woven into the very fabric of the hotel's long history, a history that includes a dark chapter as a psychiatric hospital during World War II. Perhaps it was then, amidst the cries and despair of broken minds, that Rosie's own tragic fate was sealed. Guests and staff report lights flickering without a touch, objects subtly shifting as if guided by an invisible hand, and the distinct sound of footsteps padding down deserted corridors when no living soul is near. Sometimes, a chilling, gentle brush against the arm, a breath on the nape of the neck, or a faint and sweet perfume signals her proximity, a ghost unwilling to be forgotten. The silence in certain rooms can be so profound, it feels like a scream stifled in a velvet curtain, and the shadows that cling to the ornate carving seem to deepen with an unspoken sorrow. Why does Rosie remain an eternal servant to the unseen, forever tending to a hotel that holds her captive? Is she searching for a love lost to the mists of time, or simply unable to relinquish the place she once called home, her spectral duties continuing in an ethereal loop? As we ponder the unresolved yearning within this grand mountain retreat, we descend from its lofty heights to a much humbler, yet no less terrifying establishment, a hotel in a desolate gold mining town, where a different kind of tragedy stained its very foundations. 4. The Vulcan Hotel. St. Bathans. Stepping into the Vulcan Hotel in the remote, wind-scoured gold mining town of St. Bathans is like walking into a photograph bleached by time and sorrow. This crumbling stoic inn, once a beacon of raucous life for prospectors and drifters, now stands as a monument to a past drenched in hard living, sudden fortune, and a chilling, unsolved murder. Here, amidst the dust and the echoes of long-gone laughter, resides a specter whose story stains the very timbers of the building. Her name was Rose, a working girl whose life was violently extinguished within these very walls in the late 19th century. Her restless spirit, fueled by a brutal betrayal, is said to stalk the room where her life was tragically cut short, a presence felt rather than seen. Guests and staff alike recount terrifying encounters, objects hurled across rooms by an unseen hand, chilling moans that echo from empty spaces, and the distinct, dragging footsteps of a woman climbing the creaking stairs when no one is there. The air itself can suddenly drop to an unnatural, bone-numbing cold, carrying with it a faint, cloying scent of cheap perfume that tastes of dust and forgotten tears. Witnesses have reported glimpsing a fleeting, wispy figure in period dress, her eyes hollow with an ancient sorrow, only for her to vanish like smoke in the dim light. The shadows in the bar cling like damp cloth, seeming to writhe with unspoken grievances. Does Rose's torment bind her to the Vulcan, forever searching for justice or simply seeking release from the pain of her final moments? Is she a guardian of the forgotten, or a vengeful echo of a life brutally taken? Her agonizing presence ensures that every corner of this old hotel, from its dusty bar to its creaky bedroom, is imbued with an unsettling dread, a constant chilling reminder of a tragedy that refuses to stay buried. As we depart from this desolate outpost of gold rush ghosts, our journey takes us to a place of grandeur, yet no less devastating. History, a castle shrouded in a majestic, sorrowful beauty, where family secrets and a profound sense of loss still linger. 3. Larnach Castle, Dunedin, a castle, rising majestically against the wild Otago Peninsula sky, its stone walls whispering tales of opulence and sorrow, stands as a grand, yet melancholic monument to a love lost and lives shattered. Larnach Castle, an architectural marvel built with a fierce devotion, is equally infamous for the dark shadows clinging to its ornate hallways and the spectral residents who refuse to abandon their exquisite, yet tragic, abode. It is within these very walls that the wealthy banker William Larnach poured his heart, only for it to become the stage for a series of devastating family tragedies and suicides. Chief among the restless spirits is his beloved daughter, Emily, who died at the tender age of 26, leaving behind a profound sense of loss that echoes through the generations. Visitors often report an inexplicable chill that permeates certain rooms, especially Emily's former ballroom, even on the warmest day, as if an unseen presence brushes past. The faint, melancholic strains of a waltz are sometimes heard, though no music plays, and the air grows heavy with an almost palpable sadness. Staff recount doors that open and close of their own accord, objects mysteriously shifting position, and the fleeting glimpse of a woman in a period gown, her face etched with eternal sorrow, only to vanish into the aged wood paneling. A silence so profound its screams fills the empty chambers at night, broken only by the whispers of the wind that tastes of rust and forgotten tears through the turrets. Does Emily, eternally young and forever heartbroken, still wander the halls she once danced in, forever bound to a love lost and a life unfulfilled? Or do the cumulative sorrows of the Larnach family cling to the very stones of their dream, their spirits forever imprisoned by a cruel destiny, awaiting a peace that will never come? This magnificent structure, a testament to human ambition and a crucible of human pain, leaves an indelible mark, reminding us that beauty can often be a shroud for the deepest despair. From the haunting elegance of a castle, we descend into the grim, unyielding depths of a place designed not for dreams, but for despair, where suffering carved itself into every stone. 2. Napier Prison. Napier, a grim silhouette against a bruised sky, Napier Prison stands as a cold and unforgiving monument to human suffering, its imposing stone walls soaked in decades of despair, torment, and tragic, brutal ends. Here, the air itself seems to thicken with the weight of unseen anguish, a place where the echoes of desperate screams and rattling chains never truly fade. Within these chilling confines, countless souls met their grim fate, their last moments etched into the very fabric of the building. The spirits of executed prisoners, despairing inmates, and even stern guards are said to roam its desolate corridors. Visitors and former staff recount terrifying experiences. The phantom clang of iron doors slamming shut in empty wings, chilling whispers that slither from darkened cells, and the unmistakable sound of heavy footsteps dragging across barren concrete floors. belonging to no living soul. Many have reported inexplicable cold spots that seize them without warning, or the unnerving sensation of being pushed, pulled, or even touched by unseen hands. Shadowy figures are often glimpsed darting through peripheral vision in the old execution yard, or lurking deep within the abandoned cells, their forms coalescing from the oppressive darkness only to dissipate into the damp, heavy silence. The smell of decay and old fear is said to linger perpetually in certain areas, a constant reminder of the misery endured here. These unforgiving walls have absorbed too much pain, too much cruelty, transforming this place into an eternal cage, not just for the living, but for the dead. Every stone whispers a tale of woe, forever haunting those who dare to step into its cold embrace, trapping souls in a purgatory of past suffering. But even a prison's despair pales in comparison to the insidious torment found in a place meant for healing. A crucible of madness where hope itself was a forgotten word. 1. Kingseat Hospital, Auckland. The silence at Kingseat Hospital is not peaceful. It is a suffocating void, a tomb where the echoes of 1,000 screams have been swallowed whole. Once a sprawling mental asylum in Auckland, this abandoned complex now stands as a monument to profound suffering, its decaying walls breathing a cold, heavy testament to forgotten torments and lost minds. Here, hope was not just a foreign concept, it was brutally extinguished in the name of treatment, leaving behind a psychic residue that clings like damp cloth. Kingseat's history is a chilling tapestry woven with tales of harsh therapies, neglect, and the tragic fates of countless patients who entered its gates, never to truly leave. Visitors often report a crushing sense of despair upon entering, a lingering anguish that seeps into the bones. Eerie whispers slither through empty corridors, carried on a wind that tastes of rust and old, bitter tears. The phantom clang of old medical instruments resonates from desolate rooms, and disembodied footsteps echo through the silence. Among its most infamous residents are the Lady in Red, a spectral nurse said to roam the upper floors, her presence accompanied by a sudden, intense cold that pierces the skin, and the Old Lady in Black, a more malevolent entity glimpsed lurking in the deepest shadows, her gaze promising only dread. Many have felt unseen hands tugging at their clothes, heard desperate cries from vacant cells, or witnessed objects move of their own volition, a poltergeist chorus orchestrated by the tormented spirits still trapped within these forgotten confines. The air here is perpetually heavy, thick with the scent of decay and old, unshed tears, a constant reminder of lives broken and left to rot. Are these lingering presences the desperate pleas of those denied peace, a perpetual reminder of the cruelties committed in the guise of care? Or are they simply guardians of a past too dark to ever fully relinquish its hold, forever seeking an absolution that will never come, their tortured souls bound eternally to this crucible of madness where even death offered no escape? That's all for today. If you enjoyed this chilling journey, don't forget to like, comment with your favorite haunted location, and subscribe for more weekly videos from the shadows.